Hi, I'm Nikki Lyons, and Funds of Knowledge describe cultural practices, knowledge, skills, and experiences that are embedded in families' daily routines and interactions. This can include assets, abilities, and ways of interacting that have accumulated over time. This can be applied in education to recognize the strengths and resources that students' linguistic, cultural, and familial diversity can provide for their learning. So it's very important as a teacher to learn about students' experiences and to build bridges among cultures and languages. Some different ways to do this in the classroom is by incorporating more group work between the students. This can be really helpful for linguistically diverse students. This can be less intimidating for them to practice English in a language that's different from one they grew up with. It's also very important to embrace diversity in teaching styles. This can be by accommodating different communication differences, preferences, different cognitive styles, and aptitude. This aptitude results in lessons with a greater chance of reaching all students. So, as we're preparing a student as teachers, it's very important to think about the different cultures that we have in our classroom and different learning abilities of students when we think about how we're going about our lessons. It also can be very important to bring real world issues into the classroom. This is important if we have very different cultures in the classroom because if they want to know about what's going on in the world, and if they do, it's important to discuss these big experiences that they're going through. It also will be very important to draw on students' culture to shape curriculum and instruction. If you have students who are from different countries, other students want to learn about it because these students are their friends, and it's very important to hear about different experiences. And it's also very important to collaborate with families and local communities. This goes on into my next point of parent participation. Some ways to make sure that parents participate in classrooms can be to form special interest groups. This can be very helpful for BIPOC families. This can mean special parent meetings with different races or different cultures, like Latino parent meetings with someone who speaks Spanish, and if not you, other teachers in your school. There can also be like NAACP parent representatives and stuff like that, where they can learn that there are other parents and families in their community like themselves. This can be also really great for students because they can interact with other families that have the same culture that they do, or also to connect with other students that have the same race or culture that they do. It's also very exciting to hold informal meetings, like having family fun nights or sport nights. And this really shows that whenever you ask parents to come into schools, it's not just if their student is struggling or to talk about more the nitty gritty parts of education, but also that since students are at school for so long, this is a very big community for them. So it's very important for teachers to get to know the parents, which can also benefit them when it comes to teaching the students. If you know a lot about the parents and how the family interacts, this can also make a really big impact on how you teach that student because they'll learn differently than another one will. It'll also be very important to have cultural festivals. So if you have a lot of different cultures in your school, it gives the family the opportunity to be a part of the students' involvement. They get to share about their culture and who their family is, and you can have a big fair or something where students set up different booths and the parents can make different food from their cultures, wear specific clothes, any games that they have, etc. This can be really important for students because they can learn about the different cultures that their friends come from, and they get to show about how their culture has an impact on who they are as a person. This can also be very important as a teacher because you can learn about the different food that they have, and there are also a lot when it comes to the societal impact of cultures and the way that they interact with each other. So this is really important to show. And so funds of knowledge are very important as a teacher because you get to learn a lot about your students because culture impacts so much of who a student is.